Today I'll be starting north of Japan because I want to give a general overview of the attack on Pearl Harbor. Here's Japan. This is Tokyo. If we go north to this location right here, there's a harbor, and I believe it's pronounced Hittokapu Bay. I'm not Japanese, but it's spelled Hittokapu. Hittokapu Bay. It was on November 26th Japanese time, which actually would have been November 25th Hawaii time, that the Japanese naval fleet departed this harbor, heading east for Pearl Harbor. So they headed out, and it was roughly in this area right here on December 4th, or would be December 3rd Hawaii time, that they kind of made a turn to the south and to the east, heading to roughly this area right in here, and then turn directly south, actually kind of southwest, and it was about this location right in here where they launched the attack. Now, I don't want to talk much about all the details of the attack. I'm giving a general overview of the attack. The attack came in two waves. They ended up coming down here to Oahu, and they began attacking targets on this island. Now, some of the airplanes came straight down the middle of the island. Some of them went around to the east, and some of them came around to the west. Those who went down the middle, I'm going to turn this north. Those who went down the middle, I found it curious that they didn't attack an airport that was right here. You can see what's left of it. Apparently they didn't see it as a threat, so they flew past it. After coming down the middle of the island, the planes that came through here did attack this airport right here. It's called Wheeler Field. Now here's what the field looked like the day of the Pearl Harbor attack. You can see the tarmac here. There's a lot of smoke, a lot of airplanes burning on the tarmac. And if you look right here, you can see this building, which is still standing today. So I'm going to adjust my position here. I'm going to zoom in a little. Now you can see here, this is the new runway going through here, but the old tarmac during the Pearl Harbor attack was this whole section right in here. And it's hard to see from this angle, but this is the building that is still standing today right here. Now here's another picture of Wheeler Field looking from the north to the south. You can see the tarmac right here, everything burning on it, and you can also see that building that I was pointing out. Also, if you look here, there's two structures here, and the two next to it appear to be on fire. Now, what I'm going to do here on Google Earth is I'm going to go look from the north to the south, turn it around, try to line it up as best I can. And once again, here is the building that is still standing. There are the two structures here, and then the two that appeared to be burning right here. I'm going to turn this back around, zoom out, and I'm going to head over to the east, right about here. Some of the attackers came in and attacked this airfield right here. I believe the field is pronounced Kaneohe Field, Kaneohe, Kaneohe. So this is the new field. Of course, this field was not here during the attack, but I believe this was the actual field that was here during the attack. Some of the other planes came down further south and attacked this field, this airfield here, right in here. And I found it kind of interesting that you can get kind of close on Google Earth. Closest I could get was right in here. If you go to Street View, you can see the corner of this old runway. Right in here. By the way, this field is named Bellows Field, Bellows. And this is a photo of a B-17 that was actually destroyed during the Pearl Harbor attack on Bellows Field. Now, the planes that flew down the west side of the island, I couldn't find any evidence saying that they attacked this airport, but I know they at least flew over an old airport or an airport that was there at the time, which you can see some of the remnants of it right in here. I believe it was called, I could be wrong, I believe it was called Ewa Field, EWA, but this is the location of that field. Now back up here, the brunt of the attack was focused right in here on what they called Battleship Row. Now if we get in close, you can see the USS Arizona right here. This is the back of it right here. And here is the front of it. And this big gaping hole right here is where that famous explosion occurred, where you see the center of the ship go up in flames and smoke. And it happened to be filmed by somebody who was on a ship right over in this area, who just happened to be looking in this direction at the same time the ship exploded. There was a total of 2,406 people killed during the Pearl Harbor attack. 2,335 of them were servicemen, along with 68 civilians. The USS Arizona had a total of 1,512 crewmen. Out of that 1,512, 1,177 of them were killed during the attack. That's more than half of the total of 2,403. Today, the Arizona basically remains an underwater cemetery for those 1,177 that were killed. Now, what I want to do next is go over some famous photos that were taken during the attack and give you an idea of an approximate location from which those photos were taken. Now, I've seen descriptions on the internet mistaking this field here, which is Wheeler Field, which is right in the middle of the island, and calling it Hickam Field. Back here at Google Earth, Hickam Field during the Pearl Harbor attack was this area right here. Of course, there's a new field there, a new airport. You can see it all through here. This did not exist at the time of the Pearl Harbor attack, but Hickam Field was right in here. And as you can see in this photo taken by the Japanese during the Pearl Harbor attack, you can see the Arizona burning in the background. And right here below the airplane, this is Hickam Field. This is not Wheeler Field, and Wheeler Field is not Hickam Field. Now, a lot of people have made the mistake that this was the USS Arizona exploding, but this is actually the explosion of the USS Shah, which was a destroyer tied up in a dry dock. That dry dock, from that explosion, was right here. This is the actual location where the USS Shah was sitting when it exploded in that picture. Here's another picture of the USS Shah shortly after it exploded. And as I was analyzing this photo, you can see this truck driving by, and this appears to be a 90-degree angle right here, from here through here, with the USS Shah's dry dock in view. With that in mind, I'm pretty certain that photo, here's the Shah's dry dock, I'm pretty certain that photo was taken right about here. The truck was roughly here. This building was not here at the time, so the photographer was approximately in this area, pointing in this direction toward the explosion of the Shah right in here. Now, as I look back at this photo where the Shah just exploded, I'm looking at these structures right here to try and identify a location of where this photo might have been taken from. On the morning of the attack, the Japanese took this photo, and you can see a Japanese airplane here, another one over here, and you can see an explosion, most likely a torpedo hitting the side of a ship. But as I analyzed this photo, right over here, you can see what I believe are those structures in the last photo that I showed you, which would mean that that photo was taken from approximately right in here. Also in this photo, you can see the 90-degree angle right in here, where I believe that other photo was taken with the truck right at this corner right here. So in this photo, just to the right of it, that would be approximately right in here, where those structures were. So that other photo was taken from approximately right in here, pointing in this direction. Now, a very famous photo that was taken of Pearl Harbor was this one here. And this explosion, once again, is the explosion of the USS Shah. Now, after analyzing this picture, you look at it, you can see there's airplanes over here to the right, and there's nothing beyond it. And there's a structure right here to the left. Now, before I show you where I think this structure was and where this picture was taken from, I want to make note, and I know it's a little pixelated, but if you look here, This, I'm pretty certain, is the mast to the USS Nevada, which I will be talking about in just a couple minutes. Back here on Google Earth, here is the dry dock where the USS Shah exploded. And I'm pretty certain that building that you saw the corner of, this was the former foundation of it right here, this square. So those two sailors would have been approximately right in here. And the photo was probably taken from back in this area somewhere with a, looked like a semi-telephoto lens. So I'm pretty certain this is about the approximate location, roughly right in here where the one sailor was standing next to the sailor who was on the ground. Now I'm going to go back to that photo where you can see the mass of what I believe is the USS Nevada. And in this photo here, which was just a little bit further, I guess that would be east of the last photo, you can see the USS Nevada right here. You can see the big 16-inch guns right here and right here. Back here on Google Earth, just to give you a recap, here is the USS Arizona. During the attack, directly in front of the USS Arizona was the USS Tennessee. Directly in front of the USS Tennessee was the USS Maryland. Just to the side of the Maryland was the USS Oklahoma, approximately in here. Directly behind the USS Oklahoma was the USS West Virginia. Behind the USS West Virginia was the USS Vestal, which was a repair ship. And directly behind the USS Arizona was the USS Nevada. Now, after it came under attack, the captain of the USS Nevada decided that he was going to take the ship out to sea before they sank it. But as it was passing through, coming through here, it came under attack, took on several bombs, was damaged pretty severely, and the captain ended up beaching the USS Nevada right about in here. In fact, if you get in close enough, you can see this right here. It says the USS Nevada Memorial. So it was beached approximately right in here. And that actually kept it from sinking along with the Oklahoma and the Arizona. So there you have it, a brief overview of the attack that took place on Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941, right here on Google Earth.